Hey, it's Ken Sheetz with Buzz Bros, and I'm here with
Ranjit
yes,
Sivaprakasam. Hi,
and
good
we're
to meet you,
here
Ken.
at the Venus Transit,
Transit.
and you were sharing some amazing stuff with me. And I just pulled up my
Yeah.
camera here and thought we ought to get the people involved.
I was spending time, in fact, I traveled with Alejandro, who's the chief of the Mayan elders, the 15 elders, and there was a conversation around what's really going on. And this is a cosmic alignment, I understand, happens about every 24,000 or 26,000 years. And this particular alignment is about the Venus, the Sun, the Earth, and as a result of it, the frequencies that are now being generated are very conducive to the uh, creative principle,
The creative principle.
the right brain
Mm-hmm.
functionality.
Mm-hmm.
And you see this if you go back and look at some of the Mayan predictions and align them with their predictions, you find that when there are certain transits taking place, what happens is that the frequencies that are coming through in the galactic world
Mm-hmm.
are conducive to certain manifestations. And so
Mm.
what we are going through is in conducive to a rapid change
Rapid change.
in excess of our capacity to interpret this.
Mm.
Our thinking is really driven by our subconscious, and in in the islands, they call it the Hona, the inner child.
Mm-hmm.
So the inner child is where your three lower chakras are, and that's your subconscious. And today, and there's research and work that
Very
bears out
interesting.
bears out that most of our decisions, 96% of our decisions are made by our subconscious. So though we think we're intelligent and make analytical decisions, our subconscious overrides most of what we do. So how do we deal in a reality that's constantly changing and far in excess of the capacity for your subconscious to deal with what they've acquired through the DNA and the past? So
Mm.
it's a very confusing time.
And
So
so it's confusing for the subconscious because
yeah,
it's all so different. Huh?
very different, and the subconscious role is really also the role of your mind to keep you safe, to keep you out of harm's way. And it's freaking out because he doesn't know how to deal with this shit, you know. And so they're trying to do their job, but jobs now is really about surrendering and staying unengaged to the outcome of what is.
Ah.
And we don't know that because of the cosmic
That's so
grid.
hard to do. I catch myself all the time. And is that the ego when we're doing that?
Yeah, it's your ego, because your
Mm-hmm.
ego is job is to protect you and safeguard you.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're dealing with an ego that's conditioned by the past, your ego is not your future. It's your past. Your present is
Ah.
your future. And I think in Plato's play, in where he talks about the Hercules,
Mm-hmm.
and they're having a conversation with the father, and the father saying, is concerned about the family's feud and the Helen of Troy in that whole thing. So his explanation, he says, if I go and do this, I'm going to be dealing with the possibility of a family feud and an outcome that's going to last for generations. I said, the, the father's response is, look, man can deal with the present, God deals with the future. So it's out of our hands, man. Whatever we do is all predetermined, predestined.
Hmm.
And it's a cosmic alignment that's making all of it happen. So despite all the good intentions,
Right.
things, shit happens. You know. So I just get used to it, and that's when going back to our conversation where in technology is driving changes.
Right.
Think about this. Today, the movie industry generates 40% less than one company that didn't exist 10 years ago, Google.
Hmm.
And it's a dying industry. I remember when I first came to this area, every lot was busy. Today you can drive all over LA, and most of the studios are shut down or empty. And you're finding that the whole system that we grew up with
Yes.
is eroding because the piracy and other issues are
Yeah.
undermining that whole.
Well, just take the camera that we're recording on here. It's something you could buy for $200, and
Yeah,
it's HD and it's beautiful and the
I know.
sound is awesome. And do we really need a big studio?
Exactly. And
And then
today,
you can get a $5,000 camera that can shoot
And if you
quality
go,
of anything that's filmed.
and if you go on TV, the majority of shows on TV now are reality shows. So
Yeah,
what's that
because of
about?
the writer's strike.
Well,
It was began.
partly the writers' strike, but
It was the impetus to
trend
launch
was,
it. Yeah.
the trend was already there, and
Yeah.
reality is what drives the internet. And
Yeah.
then you look at in the last few months, more people have been watching YouTube rather than prime time.
And really,
TV,
yeah,
yeah.
that makes sense.
So you begin to see the way things are changing, and our challenge is how do we figure out the future when we can't stay in the dealing with.
I've just been kind of hovering, interestingly enough, just like waiting to see where it's all unfolding and not working at the kind of crazy pace that I used to. I used to be what you would call a workaholic, and now I'm more of a playaholic, but
It's kind of like riding the wave,
yeah, I'm riding the
ju-
wave.
You just got to get in there and
Yeah.
hang in there and
Yeah,
stay centered and hopefully in balance and allow to go where you are. I mean, look at where you're today
right.
and if you could have projected being here today from where you were. So,
Now there's going to be a lot of fear that's building towards the end of the year here about the Mayan end of the world stuff, which really isn't true.
No,
The
it's not
Mayans
true.
never predicted that. So thank you for being on the channel here and helping share the fact that we should be feeling confused, but hang in there, huh? Is that what you're
Well,
saying?
what I gathered from people like the Mayan elders is that the world that's going to change is not the physical world. Our software that's processing a lot of information is going through so many processes of interpreting and the rate of change of those processes. So it's almost like our software has to be upgraded to a level
Mm-hmm.
where there has to be a reset point. So
Very good, yeah.
2012 I look at it as a reset point for downloading new process for us to deal with content that's out of fear.
Mm-hmm. Very good. 2012 is, say that again, because a girl walked through and
Yeah.
distracted me with
2012
walking through a shot there, sorry.
2012 is a peaking, an energy peak.
An
it's,
energy peak.
According to some of the Mayans I've been spending time with,
Mm-hmm.
it's a reset point.
It's a reset point. Beautiful.
Where
Yeah.
Our software is the
Mhm.
new software.
Yes.
To those of us that let go of the old,
Yeah.
will have a whole new.
Well, I'll share something with you in the audience here. Last night, I we're on a project where I talk about visions I get. I'm somehow like some sort of a guy who's grounded in the old ways, and I've only been doing this work for 20, and for 2, and you've been doing it for 30. But I got a download that I could see our sort of like our monkey brains, right? Our monkey brain. But then I saw like a whole new layer of mind that was snapping over the top
Exactly.
of that monkey mind. And I could just sense like it was putting on some kind of a
Reset.
huge change, yeah. Huge change.
So just stay out of fear, man. It's going to happen. It's going to drive you through a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And you can either hold on frantically.
It's gonna seem
or just
crazy.
surrender. Let it
Yeah.
go, man.
Yeah.
Because it's a cleansing. It's
Yeah.
a detox.
And you might just wind up in paradise. You never know.
Well, that's where we are.
Yeah.
We don't realize it.
We're here. Look at this.
Yeah.
It just
And-
keeps getting nicer and nicer and better and better.
Yeah.
And was this place even here before all this began?
Yeah.
Who knows? Because it could be like a
And
whole
somebody
complete
that's
matrix
been
that
putting all
just
their
changed.
effort, energy, working non-stop to create all this.
For what?
May not be.
Well, and they're not even here right now.
and They're not good.
Could say hi. Let's do a big shout out to Deborah Malmasada, the ranch owner who's in Miami.
Why they do it for?
She doesn't even know half the time.
Yeah, and then
yeah,
for people like you
Yeah.
to show up and be a part of the experience.
yeah.
So it's not about you.
Yes.
I mean,
Well,
being
there
the
are.
doer.
One of the things I heard was pretty great information 2 years ago was that in the work coming up, there would be people that were like the bases, and then there were people that were the movers that are going around the world, and then there's the electronics people like yourself, So we all have different roles, but it's all for the same greater good.
Absolutely. It's about showing up to play together
Yeah.
and hear the music.
Well, good. Let's go. Here's some
and
drums.
symphony. Yeah.